Hello, you're watching Global Insight, where we speak to experts from around the world on issues making headlines. I'm Young. Becoming a world power has historically depended on a country's ability to control its maritime destiny. Naval power beyond territorial borders has allowed nations to protect their economic interests, security and way of life. Today, amid tense geopolitical conflict and economic uncertainties, many European countries are finding it vital to rebuild their maritime capabilities, and South Korea is being looked to by these countries to bolster its own military power beyond its own territorial waters with cutting-edge technology in order to help boost regional and international peace and prosperity. So what are the country's capabilities, and can it become a pivotal naval state that supports global security and values? To answer this question, we turn to YU Jihoon, commander of the ROK Navy and research fellow at Korea Institute for Defense Analyses. Thank you very much for joining us today, Dr. Yu. It's a pleasure to have you at our studio.
Thank you for having me here today.
Right, and as mentioned in the intro, well, it's a time of geopolitical uncertainty, and many countries like the UK, they see maritime defence as a crucial element of their Indo-Pacific strategies, and they're really looking to rebuild and develop new generation naval capabilities, technologies to protect their shipping lines and underlying underwater cables. And in that regard, well, South Korea, it's aiming to become a global pivotal state, and in that case, do you think it should also aim to become a leading naval power? I mean, why is it so significant for the country and its liberal democratic values as well?
Well, there are some clear parallels between the UK and South Korea at sea. As two prosperous liberal trading states, the UK and South Korea share many common maritime interests. The UK depends heavily on secure shipping lines and the principle of freedom of navigation for the sake of its commerce, and does South Korea. The UK recognizes that maritime security is vital to its economic security. South Korea is increasingly appreciate this fundamental truth. The UK is strengthening its navy and playing a bigger role in the Indo-Pacific maritime commons. South Korea should seek to do the same. Indeed, the ROK Navy has significantly improved its blue water capabilities and is better poised to contribute to the regional maritime security than ever before. Of course, South Korea faces a proximate threat from Pyongyang, whereas the UK is far from Moscow or other major military threat. South Korea, therefore, must also ensure that its neighbor capabilities are prepared to help deter and, if necessary, defeat North Korean aggressions. Still, South Korea can and should do more to act as a leading neighbor power if it truly wishes to become a global pivotal state.
Right, and the global pivotal state, that's been Korea's foreign policy sort of mantra, really, in recent days. And what role can South Korea really play, then, as a naval power in the Indo-Pacific region?
Well, the ROK Navy has continuously expanded and modernized its capabilities, offering new opportunities for South Korean involvement in the Indo-Pacific region. At the moment, I believe that South Korea's interests are closely aligned with the United States. It shares U.S. concerns about freedom of navigation and the regional balance of power. Given South Korea's long-standing alliance with the United States, the two countries are already well positioned to pursue closer neighbor cooperations throughout the Indo-Pacific region. South Korea should explore ways in which it could participate alongside the United States in a coalition effort to protect shared interests at sea, considering how it could play either a leading role or a supporting role in a variety of regional military contingencies depending on the circumstances. In preparation for this, the ROK Navy should continue to expand its participation in naval exercises and exchanges with the U.S. and its other allies in the Indo-Pacific region. Overall, while South Korea is not poised to play the role of a regional maritime hegemon, it has great potential to serve as one of the key regional stakeholders in Indo-Pacific maritime security.
I see. And well, South Korea was actually planning to build light aircraft carriers and make them operational by the year 2030. But unfortunately, the plan was axed this year, it seems. And well, why is it crucial, though, to have blue water capabilities?
Well, blue water capabilities are critical to South Korea's ability to contribute to the coalition operations far from its own shores. Assets like nuclear-powered submarines, advanced destroyers, and aircraft carriers can give a state greater reach at sea. While South Korea faces threat close to home, North Korea first among them, it also should prepare to confront the threat elsewhere in the region. China's aggressive conduct in the South China Sea, for instance, poses a potential risk for South Korean trade and the balance of power more broadly. Tensions in the Persian Gulf threaten the South Korean trade and energy shipment. South Korea can put itself in a better position to address this threat alongside like-minded states if it fields a blue water navy. While the United States has long acted as a maritime hegemon, protecting South Korea's interests by securing regional trade and helping to uphold the balance of power against the potential threat, it is increasingly overstretched and cannot carry these burdens alone. South Korea, with its advanced shipbuilding industry, can field the blue water capabilities needed to assist the U.S. defend the shared interests in the Indo-Pacific beyond Korean shores.
Right, and certainly the United States has been looking to its allies to really help support its mission of defending, global security around the world. And but then there were some opponents, though, to the CVX program, and some said that it was quite unnecessary when it comes to defending, South Korea against North Korea. Would you say that's true?
Aircraft carriers are versatile platforms that can fulfill a number of different roles. The CVX would play a critical part in protecting South Korea's interest far from its own shores, but it would also have the versatility to contribute to the defense against North Korea. In the event of a North Korean attack, a South Korean carrier could provide close air cover for an amphibious assault on North Korean shores. It is also important to note that Korea's land-based air power could very well be tied down by North Korean missile strikes, chemical weapon attacks, or special forces raids in the early stages of a conflict. The mobility provided by CVX would help it evade these initial barrages and project air power from the sea in the critical opening stages of the war. The CVX's greatest strength is its versatility. It can be employed to deal with the threat far from Korean shores, but it also would be useful in a conflict with Pyongyang.
Right, so very useful in defending us in a number of versatile ways. And well, what's really interesting, though, is that recently some European states, they've been pivoting towards this area and they've been actively engaging in the Indo-Pacific maritime security. So what really are the rationales, though, for European states' engagement here in this region?
Well, European countries have taken steps to scale up their security engagement with the Asian states in the region, especially focusing on maritime security. European states share the perception that maintaining the Indo-Pacific maritime security is vital to the stability of the global supply chain and European economic securities. This perception is well reflected clearly in the Indo-Pacific strategies of many European states as well as European unions. As you see, the U.S. strategic competition becomes increasingly severe and the Russo-Ukraine war continues. European states' efforts to strengthen their maritime cooperation with Asian states, including South Korea, will serve to better ensure European security.
Then, Commander, what would be the implications of European states' movement towards South Korea, and what potential for collaboration do you see?
Well, given that the Indo-Pacific region is also important, environment is also central to South Korea's security and economic interests. South Korea needs to expand its role in order to more actively contribute to the maintaining regional maritime security. Furthermore, if South Korea wishes to enhance its image as a global pivotal state that contributes positively to the regional peace and prosperity, it should take a leading place in the international community's ongoing efforts to maintain international laws and norms in the Indo-Pacific Maritime Commons. As a part of these efforts, South Korea also should strengthen its cooperations with European states, which share our common values and goals in the Indo-Pacific region. In order to do this practically and effectively, South Korea should carefully consider the differences in the maritime security awareness and capabilities of each European state in the Indo-Pacific regions. Korea can then tailor the scope and the extent of each maritime cooperation with each state accordingly. Furthermore, in order to exert a synergistic effect, South Korea must consider how we can connect these efforts to the ROK-US Alliance's ongoing cooperations in the Indo-Pacific Maritime Commons. The Indo-Pacific strategy, which is currently being drafted by the Korean government, needs to reflect a sophisticated and detailed strategy for maritime security that actually integrate and harmonizes these different partnerships.
Right, and I believe that you've been really actively engaging in multilateral dialogue about this with the Europeans and some other states too, I believe. And well, you're actually holding a 3-day forum next week, I believe. Could you elaborate on that, please?
Yes, if I briefly say, yes, HDF, Hongneung Defense Forum, will be held from December 12th to 14th at the Korea Institute for Defense Analyses. The forum will consist of bilateral and multilateral dialogues. The ROK-US special session will be held the last day on December 14th. The 3-day forum will be a good opportunity for the participants to discuss ongoing security issues and find out solutions.
Right, it's going to be a very exciting event for those interested in the field, and also a lot of journalists from abroad as well looking into, well, the interest really now is nuclear submarines. I mean, many countries are looking to update their nuclear submarine systems. And, well, what do you think South Korea's course of action should be?
Well, South Korea should continue to explore the option of a nuclear propulsion. Like her technology, nuclear propulsion comes with costs and benefits. It is expensive and technically difficult and would require a renegotiation of South Korea's nuclear cooperation agreement with the United States. But it would allow South Korea to field the submarines that can quickly transit undetected wherever they are needed. This would be greatly beneficial as part of South Korea's growing blue water navy. Nuclear submarines could quickly and stealthily transit to flashpoints around the Indo-Pacific region to gather intelligence or participate in coalition operations in defense of South Korean interest. A nuclear-propelled submarine is also versatile and could help patrol the North Korean coast undetected for long periods of time.
Well, President Yoon actually said, President Yoon Suk-yeol, of course, of South Korea, he said that he aims to grow South Korea's weapons market as a major export sector going into the future. And, well, in terms of naval technologies, what do you think South Korea is quite uniquely well positioned to really develop and provide?
South Korea fields some of the world's most advanced surface combatants, submarines, and patriot crafts. As demand for naval platforms continues to rise in the Pacific region, South Korea is in a great position to help meet this demand, while simultaneously contributing to a stable regional balance of power. Indeed, one of the ways South Korea can act as a naval power in the Indo-Pacific region is by providing equipment and munitions to the regional partners and stakeholders to help them deter and contain emerging regional security threats. South Korea has already signed deals to sell advanced submarines to the growing Indonesian Navy and corvettes to the Filipino navies. It should continue to look for similar opportunities moving forward.
Well, thank you very much for your time today, Commander Yu.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. That was Commander YU Jihoon, also Research Fellow at the Korea Institute for Defense Analyses. And for our viewers interested in the forum, the Hongneung Defense Forum will be held from December 12th to 14th. And it's going to consist of bilateral and multilateral dialogue on very pertinent defense and naval security issues. Well, thank you very much to our viewers for tuning in today. Global Insight will be back tomorrow on Friday at 9:30 a.m. South Korea time. See you then.